Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the August 12th edition of the Locking Your Success Trade and Market Updates. It's a late night for me tonight. I'm getting in a little late, so I'm going to try and keep this a little short. And if I say anything goofy, it's probably because I'm overtired. Um, okay, so last week, if we remember, when we were looking at the SPX chart, we were saying that we're at the top of this channel here, and because we were so close to the highs for the year, that I would expect the market to come up to this level. And I was either hoping last week that we'd either get a shot up to here and then back down hard off of it, in other words, just a blow-off rally, and back off from that, or that we would retest this lower trend line here and then blast up. We got neither. The market participants came in here, and every sell-off has been met by buyers, and we've just been holding this very steady sideways trend line in the SPX. Not good for the M3 trade coming into expiration. If we take a look at the Russell, we got pretty much the same thing. We popped up to this, popped up a little bit, and now we're just kind of tromping sideways along this little trend line here. And we really haven't gotten any movement. We haven't got a big enough move so we could safely roll up, and we didn't get a move down, which would have actually put us at profit target any time during this week. Had we get a decent size move down, maybe not profit target, but like half profit target, we would have been able to take that and run. That hasn't happened for us. We've just been pushing the upper end of the tent. So we'll talk about how that affects our position later. So where do we go from here? Again, let's start looking at the SPX. I believe we want to come to about 1420. So the only question is how we're going to get there and whether we're going to back off first. Again, a good news event's going to pop this thing right up into here. Something bad news is just probably going to bring it down to this trend line and then pop it up. So I believe we're going to 1420. We may have a small pullback first and then get there, or we may just follow this trend line. Like I said, sometime in the next week or 2 weeks, we're going to get some news either way. That's either going to push us down towards at least this line or to the bottom of the trend channel if it's really bad. But again, I would expect the markets to come up into this 1420 range on the SPX. So how does that translate to the Russell? This thing's been relatively weak. If the SPX comes up to its highs, Russell will probably come up into here somewhere around 820. If the market breaks out, the Russell is going to be screaming because it's going to try and catch up. You're very likely to see a break of all-time highs should the SPX make a run past this resistance level. So that would be interesting. I don't know if the market's that strong. I would expect more to see this break down into the 770 area first. So, like I said, we're going to pop. I think we're just going to see general weakness in the Russell. We may, like I said, we may get a pop up here if the SPX pops. But in general, if SPX holds that trend line, we'll probably hold this trend line and just kind of continue along into this longer term trend line here before we start getting any real up movement. So that's my call on direction. We look at the Dow. We'll just take a quick look at these other guys. Same thing, right? We came up to the upper trend line. We're just tromping along. Dow's going to want to come up into here, up into the 13.3 level. Like I said, I believe it's going to get there. Whether it pops there or resets and then pops there, we will see. But I do believe we're going to go there in the near future. And I think the NDX looks very similar as well. Again, we're pulling this. I don't think this is going to reach up here. I think if we pop, well, It might, the index moves a lot compared to everything else sometimes. If the SPX does take off, we may actually hit here. Probably more likely somewhere in between 27.5 and 2800. Would be more likely. I don't know that you'll see something that strong, but if we reset, we're just coming back down to our regular trend line. So the three indices are pretty much lined up. The Russell's the outlier. It's a little bit weak. If everything takes off, again, the Russell's going to go really hard. If everything falls, the Russell's probably going to fall fairly hard. So it's just waiting for the general market to see if it's going to come back down or what. Let's take a look at our positions. This is our current M3 position. If I look at my website, hold on August 6th, I rolled the one of my 700, 750, 800 butterflies up to 720, 770, 820, and I added 276 IWM calls. And I did that because the market had a significant up move. And we're just kind of getting a little bit closer to the backside of the market. Again, I was waiting for like an 815 pop, 810, 815 to get some more of these 750s to 770. The market wouldn't give it to us. It wouldn't back off. It wouldn't pop. So we're just, kind of sitting here in limbo. We're pretty much out of time. I don't think I would roll the 750s to 770 at this point. I think it's too dangerous. It takes on a lot of risk for no reason. I'll explain to you my thinking in a few minutes. But anyway, we did that on Monday, August 6th. The position was up about 110 at that point. It was looking really good. If we had a bit of a back off last week at all, even like 10 points would have been really nice. But no, we kind of continued up. August 7th, which was the following day, we did hit an add point on the September Bearish Butterfly, and I bought 750, 800, 850 put butterfly for 1685, and we can show you that position in a few minutes. And on Friday, what I did, we got that bit of a sell-off Friday, and we were hoping it would continue down. This is what we looked like on Friday before we did anything. We got a touch of a pullback. But, as has been happening all week, any pullback is met by instant buying. So anytime we get any kind of a sell-off, it's bought into, and the market just continues to creep up. That being the case, I'm figuring I'm going to have to probably take this into expiration, and I'm not expecting the market to do anything that it hasn't been doing. If it continues to creep up, well, we're going to end up taking a loss on this. I could have a loss of $1,200 in this position if the market creeps. So I wanted to take that risk off the table. So what I did is I bought two 790, 800 verticals, which brings a little more credit into this side of the trade. Of course, it kind of kills our well, at this point, we still could have made profit target had backed off, but we're not going to be able to now. But I did that. I also, these butterflies aren't doing anything but hurting us now. I also pulled one of those off, and at this point here, the trade, if it expires, would be at break even. But I was taking on a little bit too much downside risk, so I pulled 3 of these IWM calls off, and we sit here. The position is currently, according to this, it's up about $700. I'm not quite sure it's that good. I think it's more in the 600 range. I can tell you the T+0 line is completely wacko. This here is not correct. And when you see a T+0 line like this, close to expiration, especially with this kink in it, there's some bad options pricing. You can go ahead off to Option View or something and get a more correct line here, but this is not right. In reality, if this thing backed out to about 780 tomorrow, this position would look really, really good. It'd be up probably over $1,000 when I take it off. So the T plus 0 line is just not, it's just simply not correct. And if you trade a lot of these into expiration, you will begin to be able to detect that type of a thing. Let's see here. Okay, so here we sit. It would be nice if the market backs down into here, we'll be able to take, I mean, realistically, if I knew I could close it for a third profit target, $800, I'd probably consider doing it. I'm still kind of going for half profit target, which would be 1250 on this. A very good possibility. I mean, we need a 10-point pullback. The problem is, like I said, any sell-offs are being bought into. As long as the markets want to hold this trend line, both the Nasdaq, the Dow, and the SPX, if that's the game they're going to play, then that's not going to happen. But if it does, we'll be able to take this off to the downside at a decent month, really. Like I said, we had a terrible entry this month. Could make a decent amount. I thought of it still. If this just sits here, or if it continues to grind up, which is more or less what I'm expecting, we will gradually sell or buy time, get some more time premium in here, make some more minor adjustments, and we will probably scratch this trade at around maybe a very small profit. I don't think we'll lose it to the upside. Like I said, we'll just gradually bump this expiration line up and we'll expire it. If the market decides it really wants to take off and give us a nice hard hit in the next couple of days, like a 20-point gain or something, we could do something with that. If the market shoots up to 820, for example, 825 tomorrow, and under good news, and that would be the scenario if when you look at the SPX, that would be the scenario when the SPX just takes a shot at this right away. That would take the Russell, right up into over 820, probably to this high. And I could probably work with that, especially because I'd be fairly confident we'd be coming down and we'd be able to make a good expiration week play here probably. Not expecting that to happen, but that's a possibility. And of course, if we back down, that's especially to the 780 level, that would be really nice. Okay, so that is the August M3. Let's take a look at the bearish butterfly for September. Okay, so here is the bearish butterfly for September. This is looking just fine. We're allowing minus 50 delta, which we're no ways near. And our delta theta ratio is fine. And we have an add point up here at 820. So, going with the whole theory of what's going on, if we grind up a little bit more, it's possible we'll hit a delta theta issue. I don't know. But I'm not going to worry about that too much. If we'll worry about that when it happens. If we just kind of sit here and then back off later on, which is what I'm expecting, this trade will look really nice a little bit later in the month. And if we shoot up to 820, then we'll get our last third in and everything will be fine as well. And I don't think personally, I don't think the markets have it in them to give a good shot this month, but you never know. You never know. You do get that sometimes in September into October. A good blast in the markets. But everything looks perfectly fine in this position here. All right, so that's what we had. We've had more grinding in the markets. The buyers have been there to step in anytime the sellers decide to sell anything off. Expecting more of the same. So I'll keep you updated with the changes on the August M3 throughout the week. I would be surprised if we do anything to the bearish butterfly this week. It's just been kind of a sit there type of a market. And we'll go from there. All right, have a great week, everybody. Good night.